Hey everyone, Delphi Group here with our weekly market report that we put out here on YouTube for you guys every Tuesday. So let's look at the markets. Again, we nailed all our targets and especially with the IWM. But first, looking at the SPY, this is the minute by minute chart. We can see what happened here at the close, at very much the closing of the day. We had a pretty big drop in, a very short period of time. SPY dropped about 2 points in this period of time. Now it's bouncing a little bit in after hours, which we call clown time. You can't really put much into this because it's very thinly traded volume. But anyway, this is a pretty decent sized drop at the end of the day. Okay, so let's look at the daily chart, kind of see what we're seeing here. Again, we're not going to take any credit for this because if you guys remember, we said last week, let the indexes show you the way. We were kind of in the middle of both averages. This is the 20-day, this is the 50-day. And yeah, so the markets decided to go up and hit our target, okay? So we did say if we close below the 50-day, we would look at this target. So the markets went up and that was the direction which happened. So I'm just going to remove this one here. Now, what's going on now? Well, again, this is the daily chart of the SPY. We gapped up yesterday. We left an open gap there, okay? If you don't know anything about gap theory, we teach gap theory here in our educational channels. Okay, 80% of the time gaps fill, okay? And today, we'll look at the cycle line in a minute, but we have here a spinning top. Okay, spinning tops at the top of moves are bearish, okay? They're a sign of indecision. They're kind of a cousin of the, hammer or doji. Dojis, spinning tops, again, are signs of indecision. And at tops, they're bearish. At bottoms, they're bullish. So if we go back here and look, okay, at this move down on the SPY, we see even though it's red, it doesn't matter. That is a bullish spinning top, and you can see what happened. Okay, the SPY went up. So because of this spinning top and because of the cycle line, which we're going to show you in a minute, my forecast is going to be going down to fill this gap here, okay, which is right around the 20-day moving average. So I am going to go lower for the SPY down towards the open gap, okay? So that will be the forecast for next week. And again, the Qs and the IWM are very similar. Okay, Qs here again, we can see the spinning top. It's borderline spinning top, borderline hammer candle. Okay, and again, our forecast are from last week. It shows the high route, and that one ended up playing out and hitting there. You can see that. So again, like the SPY, I am going lower down to fill towards that gap, okay, on the Qs, okay? And again, I do think that gap will fill the 20 days below that right now. So I do think we're going to see a pullback lower. Now, again, remember, we are into earnings season. So when you're dealing with earnings season, you can throw out the charts and the technicals. The majority of the big caps, the mega, are not until next week. But again, just be mindful of that. We've kind of lightened up on our trading for the next week or two. I personally do not like trading around earnings. Again, I'm a technical trader, so I will say we did take some put positions today because of the cycle line, which I'll get to right after the IWM. Okay, and again, here's the IWM. And remember, last week we put out a 4-part forecast. Okay, nobody in the world is putting their neck on the line to put out multiple forecasts in the future on the indexes. Okay, well, crazy enough, we hit 3 of the 4. The fourth one we missed by literally not a lot. But regardless, you can see here the up target hit. So that target hit. Then we said the IWM would go down. The down target hit. So those two hit. Below we said the CCI would pivot. The CCI did pivot. So the third forecast hit. And literally by 50,000 shares in the SPY, our target for a lower volume day just missed. Literally by 50,000 shares. If you look here to the left over here, you can see that on this day, literally to the day before was a 50,000 share difference in the SPY, which is really peanuts. But anyway, 3 of the 4 hit. So thankfully that worked out for people who traded these moves. We are over 95% on the IWM, by the way, with our targets. And again, here we are with a spinning top borderline hammer. The SPY did come down towards the gap, but the gap is still open. Okay, you can see where it bounced from the 20-day moving average right at the gap. Now we have also a bearish Harami, which is bearish. So I'm still going to go lower to fill that gap, even though it almost filled it here on the IWM. So that's going to be the forecast for next week. Now, we said we were bearish because of the cycle line. And again, the cycle line is something we offer here to our members, which nobody has. Okay, this has only been wrong once in almost 3 years. And again, we've talked about this before in the past. This is a reversal cycle line. So we can see when the indexes go up or down into it, okay, it acts as a reversal signal. And right now, we were kind of neutral up until recently because we were in between the averages. So we really didn't have a clean tell. But now because the indexes have kind of, again, gapped up, and again, that is a bearish spinning top on the cycle line. Okay, again, we do think there is a good chance that the markets will reverse lower. How much lower, we don't know, but if we look back in the past, something very similar happened here. Back here, okay, if we look back here to where we're at now, we can see here, back here we had similar price action where we were kind of going sideways. We actually went down and then popped into the cycle line. And then we all know what happened after that. The markets crashed. This was our best trading window we've had this year. We heavily shorted this. Now, we're not saying we're heavily shorting this move here, which is, again, very similar, kind of down sideways and then going up into the cycle line. And we're not saying we're going to get this kind of crash, but we do think that there is a chance we could fill that gap. Okay, so just be mindful of this. Again, this is a very reliable cycle that we've traded for a long time and made a lot of money off of it. Okay, so that's it from us here at Delphi. Again, please like, subscribe. Thanks for being here. Get the word out. We're here to help traders, all traders out there, especially the ones who are struggling, especially in this market. And be very careful because this is a very news-driven market. We're telling all our members, if you are taking trades and you've got profits, don't get greedy. Take those profits because at the drop of a dime, even today, Trump came out, markets were up, Trump came out and said something about China, and then the markets dropped. So just be mindful of that. All right, so thanks for being here. Have a great week. Good luck trading, and we will see you next week. Take care.